Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Monday, March the 8th market update. Really didn't have much economic news today. Tomorrow, we really don't have much tomorrow either. We're going to have the Goldman store sales and Redbook. Neither one I expect to move the market, so not much to worry about there as far as news. The dollar was mostly flat today. Gold, silver, and copper were down, and oil was up. Let's go over to the UUP. Look at the dollar. The MACD's turned down. I think the dollar is actually going to possibly go a little lower here, so we'll just take it day by day. It does have some trend line up, the uptrend line support here, and it did pull off its lows today. But the dollar certainly hadn't had a lot of strength, and there's really not a lot of volume in either direction here since the buying back in here. So see, light sweet crude futures, they were up 37 cents today to settle at $81.87 a barrel. Let's go take a look at the point and figure chart on West Texas Intermediate crude. So we're right here, bullish price objective 107. I do think we're probably going to get up here somewhere around the 84-85 area. So we'll keep a watch on that, but energy stocks should be doing okay here. Let's take a look at the Dow. So Dow closed down 13 points to 10,552. The S&P closed flat at 1,138. Nasdaq closed up 5 points to 2332, and the Russell closed up 1 point to 667. The Nasdaq was the largest percent gainer, up 0.25%. The Dow was the weakest, down 0.13%. Volume across the indices was about half of the average daily volume. Not too many players today, even though there was some stocks that are moving pretty well. So we're looking at the Dow here. Nice tight little candle. Almost can't even hardly see it, right? Pretty typically bullish, not selling, buying. It's all right. So we'll watch. I am expecting some pullback here in the next day or two. From looking at the MACDs and stuff, I don't expect it to be anything horrible. Of course, we do have the uptrend line, which is actually clear back here almost to 10,400, but market's acting very resilient. S&P 500, we had this pattern here. It was actually on the 60-minute, but I still think there's a target of somewhere around the 1,170 or so. Still very bullish. Tiny little, candle today of, basically just a little doji, neutral, no buying, selling. There just wasn't any players. No one interested in selling or buying today. Wasn't much going on. Let's take a look at gold. Gold pulled back here a little bit, very light volume. Gold's looking fine. Silver, same way, no volume at all on this little bit of selling today. It's holding its own. It's still looking fine. Copper actually pulled back a little bit, 0.19%, not much. Still right here, zero volume today. No interest in selling their copper, at least not today. Look at the VIX. So if you look at the VIX, did have a inside day here previous day, and we're right around that level. I do expect that. I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback in the market, so we'll get a jump higher here in the VIX over the next day or two. So keep it, and it may be filling this gap, and we'll see how that plays out, but not too bad. Let's look at the financials. Okay, so we have the downtrend line. We're right at around the resistance area here on the XLF. We have this kind of a longer term kind of triangle pattern building here. Goldman Sachs, MACD's looking good on it. Goldman Sachs looks like it's setting up. It may get a little pullback here, which you'd probably want to buy, but it's looking good for some higher prices. Let's look at Bank of America. Bank of America, it broke out here above the downtrend line with volume. Come back, tested around that 16. So 16 should hold as support here for Bank of America in the short term. So it's looking fine. Let's look at the sectors. So 8 of the 16 sectors we follow finish in the green today. The home construction index had the larger percent gain, up 1.24%. The gold index was the weakest, down 1.10%. So again, I talked about this rotation. These weak ones eventually will rotate back up to the top. You just kind of have to watch for it. Let's go take a look at the McClellan. So this tight little consolidation going nowhere today did pull us down a little bit, but we're still very overbought. Like I said, we can't stay here forever. at some point we do need to, it would be actually a good thing for the market to have at least 2 or 3% pullback. Anything would be helpful to help us go higher actually. Let's go over to chart watch. Start with RIM. RIM had a nice breakout today. Lots of volume, looks good for some higher prices. It eventually should fill its gap. I don't think it'll do that in the next day or two, but it should eventually fill that gap. RIM's looking good. Might want to keep an eye on Dell. Dell has this nice triangle pattern, and the MACD looks like it's wanting to go higher, so I expect Dell to break out. You could probably buy it over about 14.10 or so with a lot extra volume. MRO, Marathon Oil, had a lot of volume of late. I think Kramer's touting this one, and it did break above its downtrend line, and now it's just sitting there, so watch it for some higher prices. As oil goes higher, so will the solars. So Jasso, nice little pennant, little triangle here, so watch it to break out or break down as triangles can do, but instead if oil goes higher, this should break out to the upside. Toll is this been building since July of 09, this nice long dated triangle here, so watch Toll. It looks like it's near a breakout level, or again watch breakdown, but it's looking like it's going to break out to the upside to me. Chevron, not much volume, but I like the pattern. So over today's high 74.88, you can probably buy it. I'd prefer if it gets some volume coming in because it has no volume right now. And then the next few of these are ones that you should definitely buy on dips. They've been really strong. CMG, I wouldn't run in and buy it, but any type of dip, we get a little pullback in the market, you could buy it. GMCR is the same way. GMCR is a resistance level. It's hit this every time it gets to this uptrend line. It's been resistance as it was today. So be careful here, and the MACD is not looking all that great on GMCR, so it could be a dip buy, but if it loses this area here, then I just wait for it to consolidate again and set up again. Panera looks real good. Again, if you can get it, at the midpoint of this big candle or down to 75 would be better, but if you get it in this 76 or so range, 76.50, probably buy a dip there in it. CAGC's been really strong, another candidate for a dip buy. Hess is right there, same way. Looks like it's break higher. If oil keeps going higher, all these are going to break out to the upside. So tight consolidation looks good for some higher prices as oil goes up. Barrick Gold, had this breakout here, nice tight consolidation. So watch the dollar, watch the FXE. So watch for gold to go higher, and you can jump on board of that one. Plum Creek had some decent volume slowly coming in here. I like the little triangle it's in. It's got volume here and here. So, and it did peek its head above its downtrend line today. So it looks good for some higher prices in the short term. Chicago Bridge and Iron already broke out here above out of its triangle, and it kind of got rejected by 23. So if you could get it on a dip buy down here at 22, that would be a good entry. Rhino, as long as it holds around this 22.50, you could stay in it, continue to play Rhino. Manpower broke out with volume of the downtrend line. The 54 should hold as a support, and it's just got to rest after this huge move here of the breakout. MA, nice move on it today. Seems to wants to go higher. It's probably going to have some higher prices. It's pretty much filled that gap today, so maybe you can get it on a dip even. So keep it on your list. Okay, whoops. There we go. AKS, nice triangle here. Pulled back, middle. It should hold this middle of this candle for support. Big volume here on the upside, so I expect still to break out this in one particular. Vistaprint still looks good. Seems like it wants to go higher. It's had some good volume. MACD looks good. Let's go over and take a look at the current market signals. We follow the point and figure charts for the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. Of course, all three are on buy signals. And the NASDAQ, actually that little move higher today on NASDAQ put the price objective on NASDAQ even higher. Now it's at 2,600. Let's go take a look at the NASDAQ point and figure chart. I talked about watching 2003.30. We did print one box above it. Sometimes when you print one box above it is when you get your pullback. So, but in theory, this was prior resistance level. It should be new support, but probably not going to play out. We're so overbought right now, so I would expect this. Keep an eye on this, but it's very strong. It's been really, really incredible, and they continue to want to buy tech. So, all right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching the InvestSharp Daily Market Analysis. Thanks.